Hello and welcome everybody to Phillies Unfiltered, Unscripted tonight. This I'm calling an in memoriam edition of our show, along with a freshly shaven Brent Tracy. I'm Jim Russo. Brent, how are we feeling?
Well, weird without my beard, but that is not for the Phillies. Just so our listeners and viewers know, it's not a protest of any kind. It's just I was Ted Lasso for a Halloween party that we had last night, Saturday night, and of course Ted Lasso has a mustache, and I did not want to go through regular everyday life with that, so off it all comes,
Fair.
and I'm starting the beard fresh. So, so Jim, I'm feeling all kinds of things. The anger has subsided for me already. I'm disappointed for sure, but I was angry immediately after, and then
Yes, me
now
too.
I'm looking forward a little bit to think about what moves we can make and all that stuff. And I still love the team, always will. I'm never
Always
going
will.
to turn my back on them. How about you? How about you?
So I'm in the stages of grief. I guess you can say I'm over the anger. The denial was right away, pretty much, but anger was right away too because of how it ended. But at this point, I'm a fan of the game, hence the just plain old baseball hat. It was a rough way to end. I didn't think they were going to come back and win the series. They did give me a little bit of hope. They were pitching well, and they had a chance to win on Thursday, and they couldn't do it. And just the how the game ended was something I never thought I'd see in my life.
Yeah.
And it was the first time in history.
Yeah.
But much like the Phillies in this series, we are as unprepared as they were. So we didn't come up with any idea. We didn't have really many ideas. Some going off a whim, flying by the seat of our pants.
Yep.
And let's just see where the conversation goes.
Okay. Sounds good.
So let's talk about this series. We can actually talk about the last couple games because we did discuss the game one. So there were three games that we haven't discussed yet. There was game two, which did not go our way.
I went to that.
About that. And then there was game three, which very well went in our way, and then the travesty that was game four.
Yes.
Thoughts?
Well, game two like I said, I was at, of course, you're standing the whole time because it's the playoff game. Everybody's standing like a bunch of and part of that was annoying me. People were like clapping for like a ball in our favor. It's like, guys, come on, the bar is not that low. Like, come on, like enthusiastically clapping, not like, all right, here we go. It was like real big cheers for like just a single ball and a count. It's like, guys, if we're that excited for something like that, we're in trouble. But I was just kind of standing and scowling most of the time. I was just very unhappy. I didn't like how we were playing. We obviously ended up losing it. They did come back a little bit, but we had left. It was 4-0. I think we watched the seventh inning. We watched the seventh inning at bat that the Phillies had, and they didn't do anything. I'm like, we had to head home. We were heading home that night anyway, so it was a whole thing. And I'm like, I'm not going to stay here and have to be stuck in a parking lot trying to get out after they don't put up an effort. It was like one of the, because it would have been worth it if they fought to the end, right? And they did. They did put up a couple runs, but similar to pretty much every other game besides game three in the series, they had one inning of production. Everything else was just trash.
So I mean, they really had a chance. So I have two. I think I have 2 points to make here. Okay. One thing that I discovered that Jesus Luzardo is a big game pitcher.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal.
And in game four in relief.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Like that's a big sign. Like that's something I kept thinking that he wasn't going to be on this team next year. Like I didn't realize that he was arbitration eligible.
Right.
So we could be bringing him back. That's great.
To me, there's no question. You have to.
100%. Forget the 3 or 4 games that he had that was a poor stretch, but everything else, he was phenomenal.
Yep.
Like, I didn't expect 200 strikeouts out of the guy.
Yeah. No, he was phenomenal is the word. He was great. He's a top of the rotation guy for sure.
So I am very, very pleased with the performance that he gave in.
Yeah.
So there's a specific moment that is a point of contention across Philly sports media and all over social media is the bunt. Bryson Stott bunt where the Dodgers ran a wheel play, and we had Nick Castellanos on second, who's not the most fleet of foot,
not at all,
which might be a point here. What are your thoughts on the bunt in that situation?
So you and I were talking about this. We were texting about it, and I mean, you and I also are, I think, fans of old school baseball.
Yes.
I think I like bunting generally, and I like Stott bunting because Stott is a good bunter, and I think that was a good bunt. The Dodgers played it well, but my issue with calling it in that situation, like you said, is the fact that the base runner was Nick Castellanos.
Yes.
You need a guy who's got more speed if you're going to do that there. I get the idea. I understand they want to get the runner to third with less than two. I understand the reasoning behind it. But Nick and Bohm are probably the only two guys, not the only two guys, but they're two guys that definitely aren't going to make it to the base on that play. They're just too slow. Even Kyle Schwarber, as slow as he is, he's
a smart base runner.
He's a smart base runner, and he's a little faster than he looks. Like he can make it, to first to third or first to home on a gapper sometimes. He's a better runner than Bohm and Castellanos, at least from what I've seen. You could have maybe tried it with him. But I don't like doing it with Nick because I think the Dodgers are a professional team. They execute stuff like that, I think, pretty well.
They
and
made a heck of a play. That was a great play.
I
can't count it against them. Yeah. Yeah,
no, it could have gone either way. It could have been an overthrow. It could have been a wide throw. There's a lot of things that could have happened. But
you could say Mookie was blocking the base,
Right. So I don't. If I were calling it, I would have had faith in Bryson to be able to get a knock there, maybe, and Nick scores on because again, if it's a different runner, if it's a Harrison Bader or virtually anybody else on the team, I may have tried it probably, but Bohm and Nick are the only two that I'm going. I don't think they can make it there.
So I've heard a couple different perspectives. Is the idea of taking it off after ball one. Like take the bunt off entirely. And I heard another perspective of sending Nick. Like you trust Bryson to get it down and you send Nick.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, like that it could have been ball one. That could have happened though. And it was not, and he wasn't putting it down. Or you have to hope that Bryson is going to put it down no matter what, no matter where that ball is placed. He's got to throw the bat out there, in some way to get it on the ground in a spot where Nick can get to third base. I have no problem with them having the bunt on. The issue is Nick is on second base and he isn't getting anywhere. He should have seen, or coaching should have seen, that they were planning to run this wheel play.
And his secondary lead was bad. That's another thing that I think Jimmy Rollins pointed that out. That he was way too far back. He
should have told him to go back. Should have gone back.
He didn't come. He's not a good base runner. I mean, that's a big part of the problem.
But then you think about it. He goes back. You have him on second. Bryson is a ground out now.
Yeah.
And you have Harrison Bader come up. He gets a knock there. He got a knock. And we don't know if Nick scores anyway.
But at least there's a chance, A
lot of what ifs. I mean,
sure.
I mean, Bryson has come up in big moments in the playoffs and come through.
Yeah.
And you could have had him swing away. There's so many different what ifs, and hindsight is 20/20. It's over. It's done with. We're moving on.
Mm-hmm.
So that was game 2 in a nutshell, was the standout performance of Jesus Luzardo, that particular bunt situation, and they had a chance to come back, and they really could have, and I think we had all the momentum going into the 9th inning, and I mean could have won that game. That would change the whole perspective of the entire series. But then there was game 3, where we had Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the mound for the Dodgers, and Aaron Nola for our guys. And Nola looked solid for the couple innings that he was in.
Yes, he did.
Nothing to complain about. And then there was Ranger. And like, I'm excited for Ranger to come in because we know what he can do in the playoffs, and he's come out of the bullpen before, and he's been successful out of the bullpen. First pitch, home run. My head dropped. Like, seriously, first pitch though. But let me tell you, the man locked in.
He settled in. Yeah.
He was dominant the rest of the way.
Yep.
And this was the best offensive performance of the series for our fighting Phils. Was the only time they showed some fight outside of the end of game 2 from my perspective, I guess.
It was the only time that they looked like regular season Phillies.
Yes.
That's to me what
So Kyle Schwarber hits 2 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
First one he hit travels 455 feet.
Yeah, it was a huge
on
it
TV.
Was insane.
That thing looked like it traveled 655 feet.
Oh my
God!
hit
the
it was a
awning of on the on the terrace level there.
He
whatever
almost
that is.
hit it out of the stadium. I mean,
he hit it further than Matt Stairs hit it. Like that was.
Yeah, Stairs landed in the bleachers. His went over. Yeah, that was
an absolute moonshot. Like, I mean, you don't see that like from many guys, but Kyle Schwarber in the playoffs. I mean, or just Kyle Schwarber in general, because 488 off of Yu Darvish a couple years back. But we don't, we don't talk about those Phillies anymore because we're in the here and now again. I mean, offensively, they did exactly what they needed to do. They were driving in runs. They were driving the ball out of the ballpark. I had no complaints about Game 3.
No, that was a solid win. Yeah,
it was a good win. I don't think there was any huge negatives. Trey had a handful of hits, and Kyle did his part. That's what it should have been the entire series.
Right.
But no. Game 4, we have our ace on the hill in Christopher Sanchez, and let me tell you, he looked locked in from the start. He did his job. He did exactly what he needed to do. Until what was the inning? They loaded the bases, the Dodgers.
I think it was the 6th. I want to say.
He was still throwing the ball well. He was getting a little bit all over, getting hit a little bit. He gets squeezed on a 2-2 pitch, I believe it was, to Alex Call.
Yeah,
it was an inside pitch. Could have gone either way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we see on the box, on the TV that it should have been called a strike. ABS would call that a strike, and the umpire even apologized to him after the fact.
Right,
but that was a game-changing moment because you take him out of the game. He hadn't gotten called out to begin with the entire series. They take him out of the game. They intentionally walk Shohei to get to Mookie. And they put in Duran, and he couldn't throw enough strikes.
Yeah, and I hated that. I texted you. I hated it. You don't put Duran in the 7th inning. That's not his role. No. And you don't bring him in with runners on base if you can avoid it, because that's not his role either. Thompson made huge mistakes all around in that situation.
Yeah, that's a point we're going to get to.
Yes,
I think. And so there's a couple different perspectives here again. The guy in front of Mookie was not hitting.
Yep.
He had one hit up until
where
that
I'm
point,
going with it, too.
We made him look silly.
Yep.
He looked awful for most of the series.
He had the one hit he had was the game I was at. Yeah.
Right, and that was the game when it was the game winning RBI.
The go ahead. Yeah, right.
If you think about it. So you put in Matt Strom, you put in Tanner Banks.
That's who it should have been. Tanner Banks. Let Tanner Banks come in. Don't walk Shohei. Let Tanner go after him, and he probably gets him.
Give him a chance. And if he walks him, so be it. You gave him a chance to get this out.
Yep.
You gave Duran nothing to work with.
Nope. He had no leeway.
That's and he might be amped up, so he might have a little bit of a location issue, which he did have a little bit of a location issue, is to getting balls up, and that was a problem, obviously, because he threw 4 balls out that led to a walk and a tie game. So that was the series right there. That was like, the offense didn't look good enough. We needed our pitching to shut them down. We had until that point. So
I mean, all in all, the bullpen pitched well enough in that series. They had moments where they could have been
pitching pitched well enough.
Could have been better. The starters were fantastic. Luzardo
were.
deserved way more than he got out of his start.
So did Christopher Sanchez.
Yeah, no, of course they both did, but but I mean the bullpen certainly had moments where it faltered a little bit, but all in all, it pitched well enough for this team to win. We know the problem. We know what happened. The 1 through 3 hitters precisely, and it's not just them. Like Marsh struggled. Yeah. There were people who struggled, but the 1 through 3 hitters went 3 for 35 in games 1, 2, and 4 of the series. That's simply put why we lost the series.
Yeah, absolutely. So that brings me to my next point, which in the moment I don't think I've yelled at the TV any louder in a angry tone. Throw it to first.
Right.
Orion Kirkering. He's got a lot of talent. He's got some really good stuff.
Nasty stuff.
But this is a moment you need to know. Yeah. Every baseball player, everybody who's ever played baseball, all of us, any of our listeners, you and I, we know what we're doing with the ball if it comes to us. We know what our plan is in that particular situation. Bases are loaded. We get the easiest out.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, you have 2 outs. It doesn't matter. You get the out. Yeah.
So Andy Pajas hits a little dribbler to Orion. Orion can't corral it because it's, I guess it catches him off guard. He'll be a little bit off balance because he's a pitcher and they're not always the most balanced when it comes to after the pitch. And he decides to throw it home. He admits that it's a terrible throw, and I'm going to give him credit for owning up to that. So I'll give him a little bit of respect for that. But your catcher, your captain on the field, is pointing to first base.
Yeah.
Damn it, you listen to him.
Yeah.
Like you should be looking at him. And he's saying, first base, he had a ton of time to collect himself, make the turn, make a clean throw to first base.
There's a still image of what you're talking about, JT pointing, but then also you can see with him and the ball in the air, his arm is cocked, ready to throw the ball. You can see Pajas is not even halfway down the line yet.
He didn't even have to fire it over there. He didn't have, he'd have to just get
Lob
it over there.
Yeah.
Get it, make sure it gets there.
And to your point, I mean, he knows he's a professional baseball player. He knows, on an intellectual level, right, that he's supposed to do that. He panicked in the moment. I mean, that's what happened. It wasn't that he didn't know what to do. It deep down, it was a, oh my god, and he even said it. He just kind of looked up, saw the play in front of him, and it's like, and he probably could have had, because again, it was bases loaded. He didn't have to tag him, right? He just had to get the ball to JT. Now, JT probably wasn't ready.
No, he wasn't, because he was expecting to throw the first.
Right.
So it was a terrible throw, though.
It was. And I think Orion had a very specific description of it from what I heard.
I'm not going to say that on
neither am
I.
Station. But what I will, another thing I will say about that whole thing is, I really liked how his teammates rallied around him.
I agree. I do agree there.
That was great to see. It as much as it really sucked ending the season in that form. Yes. Thompson stopped him and that was a great move by him. He stopped him. Yeah. You could tell him, see that he was telling him, man, this is a team game. It's not all on you. Do not take this like this. The other players, I mean, I saw Sosa, I think, was head to head with him
Sosa,
in the Wilson was sitting with
JT.
That was great.
Nick.
That was a beautiful thing to see.
It just sucks. That's all.
It does. It's a really tough way to see the season end. I heard a lot of people completely blaming him, and it's like, guys, that's the play that ended the season. That's not why we lost the series.
That is where I'm going next. Yeah. In the moment, I was at my bowling league when this is happening. So I'm watching this, all these people, and like somebody's telling, don't even let Orion come home, like kind of thing. Like, so it's like in the moment, you're blaming Orion because it's that particular moment that you're thinking about right then and there because the season ended right then and there. But coming to grips with everything that happened, collecting my thoughts. I put this tweet out there that Orion, yes, he should have thrown it to first base. He owned up to it. I feel for the guy. I respect that he owned up to it. Like, it is what it is. But
Yeah.
to your point, the offense was not there.
No,
they were there
didn't
for
show up.
one game and one inning outside of that. That's it. Maybe 2 innings. Game 1, they were there for an inning too. But it wasn't enough. Like, the only guy that really stood out offensively outside of game, I can say 2 guys, I guess, outside of game 3 would be Nick in some moments and JT. Even Kepler stood out too. Like, Kepler was getting some hits, but like, your big guys, your 1, 2, and 3, they were, especially number 3, were absent.
I mean, but I will say, at least he worked some walks. Schwarber wasn't even getting walks. He had those 2 home runs, and everything else he did was forgettable the whole series.
It was very productive game 3. That's all.
Sure, but I'm saying I'm taking that out of the equation because they all had different versions of productivity in that game. I mean, but Trey was swinging and doing a lot of dribblers and just really like bad contact and Kyle was just swinging and missing, whiffing at a lot of stuff. Bryce got some hits. He got some walks, but no power. There was nothing that he was really barreling up.
Swinging too early. He was not patient at points, and there was
none of them were.
Against Glasnow, he rolled over on a pitch outside where prime form Bryce, like when you're midseason form, ready to go MV3, he's sending that the other way for an extra base hit, and he just rolled over. Like, that can happen, especially in the first inning of a game where you need runs.
Yep,
like, you're going to need runs, but it is what it is. There's going to be some shakeups, and that's the next thing I want to talk about. Is where do we see this coaching staff next year, 2026? Who do we have, this current regime, or do we have somebody new?
I mean, I can't say for sure what they'll do because I really don't know. What I think they should do is, flip the whole thing, because this group is not getting it done. And it's a shame because I like Rob. I like Dusty. I like Paco over at first base. There's a lot of guys I like. Caleb Cotham has been fine. Mm-hmm. Can't stand Kevin Long. Haven't wanted him here for 2
Kevin
years.
Long too, yeah.
I mean, but I think it's hard. It's hard to. I mean, you could make an argument for like Dusty does a pretty good job of sending, and he's a good third base coach. And I don't know as I feel as strong about Paco. I think Caleb, you could make the argument to keep him. I also get if they change, but the pitching wasn't the issue. The pitching was well managed this year as far as like how the outings and stuff. So Rob's got to go. I mean, he's a regular season manager. He has been fantastic in the regular season since taking over this job. But and then that first year that he took over in 22, they caught fire at the right time. And I don't think he had to make a lot of tough decisions. They were just on, and it was a very It was
the one decision he had to make in 2022. He made a poor decision. He put Alvarado in and took Wheeler out in the World Series.
Yeah, but I mean, I wasn't that disappointed honestly when they lost that because it was such a magical run, and I did not expect it. So by that point, I was like, okay, you know what? We can build off of this. This team has got it. That was more hopeful at that point. We have taken steps back every year since. Yeah. This year and last year it was the same amount of games, but it felt regressive, if that makes sense. Yeah. It felt worse than the year before.
Yeah, 23 was our year. Should have won in 23.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but that was poor bullpen decisions. You're putting in Orion when he could have been putting in. Well,
and the hitters went cold, not to the same degree, but they did go cold at the wrong time.
At home, like seriously, come on.
We had the home field. We won the first 2 games there. We had that lined up, and we just blew it. But regardless,
I agree that there needs to be a major shakeup. Our great regular season coaching. What can I say? You win games, you win the division. We're going to be happy with that until we get to the playoffs and you're not making the right decisions. You're folding. Like it stinks big time.
I don't want to see champagne and celebration for winning a division again. I just don't want to see it because that's
the norm now.
But it's ridiculous because you get nothing for it. Like, you can hang a pennant or a banner or whatever that says that you won the division.
The one you won. You want that
No,
ring.
it's not. And to me, that's the symbol. That's the, like, show me you don't, that's not good enough. Show me, like, be happy about it, right? You can celebrate a little bit, but don't
Yeah.
act like you just won a championship. Like,
Yeah.
take the day off the next day if you have off or whatever. That's fine. I get that. But you don't act like you've achieved something, because you really haven't, and it hasn't done anything for us the last 2 years. It just, like, I don't know. I didn't, just looking back on that, it's just like, yeah, that's really frustrating that they were that exuberant about winning the division, and then they get to the playoffs and they just don't
They're
show up
nothing.
for the
Stinkers.
most part. It's not good enough. And yeah,
So-
the coaching staff is the place you start. I think
So,
Rob, after the playoffs, because I think usually they wait. They try not to do it
well,
when
they're not gonna do it right away.
No.
They'll wait till the World Series is over, and then they're gonna say, "Hey,
but-
Rob, we're moving on."
But if they
guess.
don't, I mean, what? Because there's a scenario where I mean, they've done it before where they've run people back in this group. Can you? I mean, if they keep Rob, I'm going to lose it, because he's not the guy. I mean, he's had opportunities, and this is a uber talented team. You can't say that he didn't have the tools to win. I think you've got to let him go, and if you don't, then Dave, maybe you get to start saying he needs to be sent somewhere, because it's just not good enough.
Yeah, I agree. As far as coaching goes, I was actually just thinking about this now. I already knew that Caleb Cotham would be the guy that I would keep mainly.
Right.
Yeah, because the pitching's been great. Dusty had a chance to be manager when we hired Girardi.
He was the second choice, from what I heard. Yeah,
and then don't forget Bobby Dickerson's one heck of an infield coach. So I can't get rid of him mentally, but if you're changing the manager, you're probably changing the whole staff.
Yeah. In the off season like this, yes, I think that's what you're talking. Because when Rob took over, it was mid season, so you're not going to turn over the whole staff at that point.
So let's see what happens. You got to, like, as far as if they get rid of Rob, who replaces him? I know we discussed this. There's Bruce Bochy. There's Mark DeRosa. There's some
intriguing names, and I think I was a little anti Bochy, not because I don't like him, but because he's so much older. He is a winner, but he's so much older, and I think that's too old. I don't want a young guy. I don't want a guy who's just retired either. Because I want that happy medium where it's a guy who's got some post-playing experience under his belt, but it isn't so far away from the game and so far or so close to retirement. Like Bochy's been in and out of retirement a couple times now.
Are you saying you want Gabe Kapler back? I'm kidding.
No, I want Gabe Kapler on the moon, frankly, but. No,
he might be there for all we know.
With his coconut oil, we won't get into that. No, but when you said DeRosa, I thought about that. I think a guy like that would be a great fit. One, because he's got ties to the area. He's a Jersey boy. He has that attitude
smart baseball guy.
That's the other part of it. He is a very fundamentally sound baseball guy. He knows how to hit from a technical standpoint, right? Yeah. He knows how to field. And I've seen on MLB Network, he really breaks down like swings and at bats, and he's a good analyst. Right. And players like him, as far as I know, they like him.
Yeah, I mean, you think about that. You think about he can analyze hitting. Charlie could do that. Charlie loved hitting. He would always talk about hitting season. What does Rob bring to the table? What is his forte?
I mean, Rob's thing is
third base coach.
He's laid back. That's the thing. It's like, okay, but Charlie was laid back. But Charlie also had a gear he could go into where he got fired up.
Yes.
Rob doesn't have that gear, and I think that's what's missing from this team. Rob didn't get light a fire under their butts enough to get them going. Charlie would do that when he had to, and I think a guy like DeRosa would too. And you have to do that because this group's shown it. They need sometimes that somebody or something to light a fire, and other players aren't always going to cut it. If your boss though is like, "Hey guys, get going, let's go," or you're going to get benched, he's going to actually bench you or change the lineup, move you down in the lineup, do something. Rob didn't do that either. He kept going back back at it with the same thing over and over again. After game 2, I would have changed the lineup, frankly. I would have done something different. I don't know what it would have been. Maybe I moved Kyle down to cleanup. Maybe I don't know. I would have tried
I don't
something
put Otto
different.
Kemp in there.
I don't know, but the
That's
manager position is a problem. It's not the problem, but it is a big problem, and it needs to be addressed.
I agree. We shall see. We still have some baseball left for just Major League Baseball.
Yeah, CSs are upon us.
Yes, I'd like to discuss that in a moment, just to bring up baseball in general. But there are some other names that I wish to throw out to you.
Okay.
So I'll play a little game with you. I'm going to call it Stay or Go.
Okay.
So I have 8 names, all pending free agents. Well, there might be some options as well involving. So maybe I'll go backwards or down at the bottom here and go up here because the names get more prominent as we go. Mm-hmm. So this player has a club option. Which I honestly think they might pick it up. Jose Alvarado.
I say go just because I don't like what he did. He really handcuffed the team this year. And frankly, I don't know that he's worth it. He has moments times where he's good, and other times the guy can't throw a strike to save his life. I don't know. The bullpen's not a super, super weak point right now. You've got Duran locking down the back end. Tanner Banks has proven he can be a left-handed specialist in the 7th or 8th inning. If Kerkering can get his act together to be consistent because he's got the stuff, like we said, he could be a reliable 7th or 8th inning guy. I wouldn't be mad if they brought him back, but I think for me, go. I would say go, just not to spend the money there.
I honestly say stay. I think they're going to keep him. I just had this strange feeling that he stays. I mean, he's a left-handed fireballer. They don't have any fireballers from the left side. You have Duran from the right and Kerkering for the right. Jordan Romano. This is an easy one.
That's easy. Yeah, he's gone.
Max Kepler.
Gone. Got to let him go.
I agree.
Not worth bringing him back. He turned it around at the end of the regular season. I'll give him that credit, but it's just you got to spend your money in other places. You're not giving him another year.
I'll give him his credit. He performed the last couple months, and he did his job in the playoffs, unlike the rest of the team, pretty much. I think this one might be a retirement. David Robertson.
Yeah, you're not bringing him back, and maybe he retires, but I wouldn't bring him back. I mean, you brought him in to finish. You needed, a little bit of reinforcement in the pen for the end of the year. He's 40. He was not bad, but he wasn't that great either. I'm letting him go.
40 and a half from what I see. Ranger Suarez.
This is a tough one because I've thought about this a lot. I think you have a conversation. You see what he's looking for. It's Scott Boras, so it's probably going to be a high price tag. But it's tough because Rangers had injury issues, but we've seen what he does in the playoffs. He's been money in the playoffs, and he's been good when healthy in the regular season. So I think you see what his number is. You see what he's looking for in terms of years and money, and see what you can do reasonably. If it's too high, you have to have a threshold, right? I'm not playing the game of really going back and forth and trying to and spending above what the bottom line is for the club. If he's pushing too high, I'm not overpaying for him. But if he's surprisingly he only wants 4 years at this clip, maybe then. But he's going to be looking for probably a longer term deal, and he's going to be looking for serious money. And I don't think with the state, because our rotation is fairly strong, and you gotta I think bank on Painter. I mean, he's your stud from the minor leagues. You got to bank on him working out. I think you have to have that mentality. You can't go, well, it may not. That's not. Otherwise, you should have traded him, right? If you don't have faith in him. So I think you have to bank on him becoming a solid, consistent part of your rotation.
So stay or go right now.
I think I'm saying go just because I think the price tag's going to be too high.
I agree. I do not think we're going to see Ranger Suarez in a Phillies uniform next year, which will make me a little bit sad.
Yeah.
Best
I like
of luck
Ranger.
wherever he goes. He's going to command 6 figures, I think, a low 6 figures. This one is a mutual option, which I'd be interested to see what they do here because I think there's interest on both sides. Harrison Bader.
Oh, I 100% want to bring him back. But
But
what'll
that's not the
but it,
question.
no, but it'll be interesting because if he may opt for free agency to see if he can get a higher, a better deal, right? He might like the Phillies still may be able to get him even if they say, you know what I mean? Like I don't
Don't want to overpay.
no, I don't want to overpay either, but I say stay. I say stay. I think they should do what they can to keep him because he's versatile in the outfield. He can play any of the outfield positions. He's got the effort. He was one of he got
does.
hurt.
Grit.
But if he was healthy, he would have been one of the few guys. He did when he did get up to bat. He got some hits. He got on base. He was making things happen.
He had a good at bat
I'd
too
like
on Thursday.
yeah. I say bring him back. I say do it.
Okay.
I mean,
I think it's contingent on what they do with Nick. I mean,
well, you got to trade. Yeah,
they have to dump his contract in
Absolutely.
some way. It might not even come to a trade. It might be an outright release for at this point.
Yeah, he cannot be on the roster by all means necessary. Get him off the roster.
Sure, he might be good for the clubhouse and some players, but from the media perspective, from fan perspective, it's not a good look with the way he talks about us.
No, and that's a whole another thing. Yeah, him blaming that, and I'll give Bryce credit on that. Because Bryce had the right answer. That was the exact right answer, which is when they were asking, for those who haven't heard this, Nick about, playing, is it hard to play in here? And he's like, well, when they're with you, it's great. And he's like, but then it's a really difficult place to play. And you feel like they're against you. They asked Bryce the same, he's like, some of your teammates are talking about how difficult it is to play here. Are you glad your guys are going on the road? And Bryce is like, no, I love playing at the bank. He's like, the fans have every right to be upset with us. I'm upset with us. He's like, I expect more from us. I expect for myself more from myself. And I'll say that about Bryce. He does. He's as hard on himself as anybody is. You know that is a competitive guy. He wants to win. He wants to put out his best output. And he didn't do that, and he owned that and said that. But he was like, the fans pay their hard-earned money to come watch us play. He's like, I would have been pissed too. That's basically what he said. He
panders a little bit, but yeah, he's right.
No, he knows though. I think he is right, and I think he means. I do think he means it. Like he's not just saying it because it's like I've been media trained. He expects better from himself and the team, and he's not going to make excuses, which is one reason I do like him.
Yeah, I have a friend who was at the same game that you were at. I texted you this.
Yes,
she said that she saw Bryce go for like a high five from Nick after something happened, and Nick just walked past him, and the face that Bryce made was just utter confusion.
Yeah.
Like, what? I wish that was caught on camera. I'd love to see it.
Right. Yeah.
Just like what's happening here. So
yeah, interesting.
I think they get rid of Nick and keep Harrison Bader. That's
I'd love to see it. Yeah.
You can have one heck of an outfield defensively with solid speed all around. I mean, Marsh, Bader, and Crawford in some way, shape, or form. I'd be with that.
I think that's a solid. I agree with you.
So these two guys coming up here. This is the most important decisions that Dombrowski's going to make with his time in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Kyle Schwarber, stay or go? I know what you want. What do you think happens?
I wish I knew. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. I really don't know. I can only tell you what I think they should do because I don't know what they're going to do. It's to me, this is 50-50 right now for what the club will do. For me, where I'm looking at it, I let him go, and not because I don't like him, not because he's not a great player, not for any reasons like that. For me, it's purely a practical thing. You've got to shake this up. You've got to do something to change this team in a meaningful way. And I get the whole argument of like, where's that production going to come from? The 56 home. First of all, he's never going to do that again, in my opinion. He's never going to put those numbers up again, I don't think. I don't think he's going to be bad, but I don't think he's going to put up 50-plus home runs and 130 RBI or whatever. I just don't think it's going to happen again. But I think you could utilize the money you'd save and change the team and it still be the same competitive level, but it's a different mix of guys. Because the reality is, this mix of guys hasn't gotten it done in the postseason. That's what it comes down to. They have talent on paper; they should be great, and chemistry-wise, they do work well together. Like, they like each other. All of this is a recipe for success theoretically, but it's been 3 seasons since that World Series appearance, and they've gotten progressively worse with the results. So a sane person doesn't try the same experiment repeatedly expecting different results. So I'm saying you let him go, you try to sign a Bellinger or a Tucker or something like that, just to change it up. New face, a little bit younger, something, like, you got to change it up. That's where I'm at.
I do think an infusion of youth is needed.
That's part of my thought.
I do think is going to be from within, with your Justin Crawfords and eventually Aiden Miller.
I think it's both, honestly.
And Painter. So you could see Andrew. Aiden Miller was phenomenal. He did really well.
He finished strong and he came up.
He finished really strong, stealing bases, hitting homers. I do think they end up keeping him. So I'm going to say he's a stay. There are some options that I'd like to discuss in an off-season edition of Phillies Unfiltered, where there's, if we do not bring him back, or if he signs elsewhere during the off-season, we can discuss the names that are out there, like your Cody Bellingers or your Kyle Tuckers. There are some players that can play all over the field that are going to be out there.
Yeah,
and they are going to command some hefty money, but you can sign them to long-term deals and establish a new core.
Well, I think that's where my mind's going. Again, I don't know what they'll do. I think it's 50-50 as far as what I think they'll do.
But I think the most important thing is an infusion of youth with your Crawfords and your Millers and your Painters. You need guys that are going to be here for the long haul, that are young.
Yeah, and Crawford needs to be on that. Crawford needs to be on the roster opening day. There's 100%, no excuse not to have him on there.
If he's not, unless he has some sort of terrible injury or terrible spring training, I think he should be. I mean, he was player of the year down in the.
He batted like .330. Like,
it was something ridiculous. Even in the minor leagues, that is phenomenal. So that's a great sign for things to come from him. And then this might be the most important guy to the team in general, JT. Stay or go?
He stays because there's no other options. You have no internal options and you have no external options. Who's out there that's going to be better than JT? That's the question I'm asking.
Commanding the team?
Even at his age, exactly. Because it's not just, he's the catcher. He affects the entire pitching staff. And that is a ripple effect that you can't quantify in any other way, at any other position. That's the only position where you have that kind of an impact team-wide.
There might not be any player more important defensively than JT.
Yeah. And honestly, he was one of the few players that showed up and had some big hits in the series. He had a home run.
Cycle in the series.
I think he had three RBIs, four maybe. I don't remember.
A double, a homer.
But he. And that's not why you're signing him. I mean, the offense is a bonus.
You're not looking for the offense as much.
But you're signing him to manage that pitching staff and continue to give them confidence. That's another thing he does. So, because you're talking about, you want Painter to come up, right? You want him to perform well. The best way to ensure that is have a guy like JT behind the plate.
So I look forward to our we can call it a preseason discussion where the team stands as far as the roster goes and where we expect this lineup to be.
Yeah.
I really hope. I think they're going to keep JT on a short term, maybe 2 years. Maybe
I think
take
2.
Some sort of maybe
option.
He'll take some sort of discount too, since he's been here. He's had success, and we need to make this team better in some way.
Right.
So yeah. So JT's staying. Kyle's probably staying. Robertson's gone. Suarez
I think JT's
gone.
more sure than
I think
Schwarber at this point.
JT. I mean. I know they would say on like the pregame and the postgame that Kyle's priority 1, and it's slowly.
He was until the playoff series.
It's slowly moved the needle a little bit over the JT side.
It's two straight playoffs where Kyle has been a ghost, and that's to me a huge impact. Like if I'm Dave Dombrowski, I'm moving on for that reason, not because I don't like him, but for practical reasons. Like, you got to do something different, and it's a lot of money to commit to a DH who doesn't perform in the playoffs for you.
All right. So, this was a good discussion about our Phils. I just really quick, the playoffs now. All four
Well, wait a
teams
minute.
in
Hold
it.
on. One
Yes,
more.
go
What
ahead.
about
Yeah, go ahead.
Bohm?
Bohm. So he's arbitration eligible too, but I let him, right?
Oh, I thought he was a UFA now. Oh, I don't know. I
I
thought we
don't.
had already gotten to that point where with
I
him.
figured out a way to get rid of him too. Honestly.
Oh yeah.
He's not. He's one of those guys where you can use a shakeup. He could use a change of scenery too.
Yeah, I mean, and also, I just don't. You're not giving him any kind of a long-term deal. Like that's definitely
Right.
not happening with him. Um, he's a decent run producer, but I will note he's been injured of the
Yes.
last 2 seasons for not insignificant periods of time, and you know he. He's a 6'5" toddler, which I've said before. He's got definitely attitude problems, but
Yes.
I think the other thing is with him there, you're blocking Aiden Miller longer too.
Yes. So real quick, I just Googled it for reassurance that this is his final year before he can become a free agent after the 2026 season.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
And so we'll, I mean, if you can find a way to get rid of him, and if you for some reason can't bring up Aiden Miller, you maybe take a 1-year flyer on somebody.
Yeah, there's options.
There's your Bregman's out there.
Bregman's out there.
There's probably like a lower tier guy that's available. So
yeah, and we'll get to that in the offseason episode. Yeah.
All right, so now we could talk about the playoffs. All four teams remaining are division winners, which is we haven't seen lately.
Yeah.
So we got the Dodgers and the Brewers, which should be a good series, and we got the Mariners and the Blue Jays, which should also be a good series. There's one team I want to talk about, just real quick. Good luck to the Dodgers and the Brewers and to the Blue Jays. The Seattle Mariners, they were part of one of the best games I've ever watched.
Yeah,
I mean, at least in recent memory.
I didn't stay up the whole time because I
fell asleep
11th inning.
I fell asleep right before they started the 15th inning.
Oh, good for you! You got farther than
I mean, I work late. I
had to get up at 6:30 the next morning for a soccer game.
But I mean, it's just double play after double play, defensive play after defensive play, great pitching, solid contact, reviews of hit by pitches, which I'm going to say is a hit by pitch. I don't know if you saw what Victor Robles was trying to bunt.
I did see that. Yeah.
I mean, it looked like it hit his index. It looked like it hit his index finger before it did anything, before it hit the bat. But it went straight down, so it was really weird, and you couldn't overturn that. But I think Seattle Mariners are the team I'm pulling for.
Me too.
I do. I mean, I've never hated the Mariners. You and I both agree that about Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh yeah. That whole team back in the 95.
95. They should have won the whole thing. I didn't realize Edgar Martinez was on their coaching staff. So it's like that's. Good luck. I'm polling for them to win. I sure as heck don't want to see the Dodgers win. And then
I don't want the Blue Jays to win either.
I don't want the Blue Jays to win either. I mean,
I'd be okay with the Brewers winning, but I want the Mariners to win.
For Reese's sake, I'd be okay with the Brewers winning, and also win it for Uke. I hope the Brewers make the World Series, but I hope the Mariners win the World Series. I want to see the Mariners and the Brewers, so that way one of them gets there first.
That'd be great. I'd love to see that.
And they're either way, a former Phil's getting a ring, no matter what. Somehow, I saw a tweet out there that there were a list of former Phillies that could get a World Series ring this year. Buddy Kennedy's on that twice.
Oh, jeez.
So he's got half a chance, because one's in the American League and one's the National League, to win a World Series. They get a World Series ring. I think that's just terrible. I mean, guys should be playing slow pitch softball on Sundays. But all in all, I had a really good time discussing our Phillies this year. However, it ended in sadness. Still slightly in mourning. But it was a rough week all around for Philadelphia sports, and hopefully we can finish the baseball season with just some good baseball, and start fresh in a couple weeks and see where the winter meetings take us, and then spring training, and the next thing you know, regular season baseball,
we'll be back.
baby.
We'll be back at it. Yeah. No, man, it was a disappointing end of the season, but I gotta say, this podcast turned out to be, not that I didn't think it would be fun, but it turned out to be way more fun than I thought it would be. Like I really
that.
enjoyed getting to do this every week. And I feel like it's helped me connect to the game even better, because I'm paying attention to things
more
in
attention,
ways.
yeah.
Well, yeah, because I mean, we want to give the people that are listening to this something that it's not just us talking to talk. Like we want to actually provide insights and point out things. Like the thing that stands out to me is, when I went to that game and I pointed out the thing where I thought Nola was tipping his pitches. That's not something I ever would have shared with anyone, in any kind of meaningful way before this podcast. But it's like Bridget didn't even know what that really meant. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't
think I ever would have publicly given Brandon Marsh flowers.
Right, so. You wouldn't have had to, because well, and I wouldn't have given Trey Turner credit for improving his defense.
And
so
Taiwan Walker too,
Which, by the way, Taiwan is. I think I thought he was done. I think he's available. Yeah, so we're gonna have a lot to talk about in the off season. But no, it's been so fun. I'm glad when I reached out to you. Not only did you respond, yes, you responded within like a minute, and we're like, yes, let's do it.
Why not?
And the rest, as they say, is history. We put this together, and for everybody wondering, we have full intentions of coming back and doing this again next season. Life is crazy. We obviously some weeks we've had to forego doing it for kid reasons or illness or whatever, but exactly. We're going to continue to put this out as much on a weekly basis as we can when the season gets going again and everything. But yeah, I mean, this has been so much fun, and we will do a winter meetings kind of right around that, during it, or probably after all the moves are made. We'll recap that, see where the Phillies specifically stand after that, and what's to come. But yeah, I mean, it'll be a little nice to have a little bit of a break, step away, and kind of get the thoughts. And we'll probably come up with some new stuff. Jim and I have already been talking about some new potential segments and sort of just ways to kind of spice things up a little bit with the So I actually have thought about. I didn't share this with you, but I might change the intro song next year. I have another possibility. Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. But
okay.
But thank you all for your support this season. It's been great. We keep seeing the numbers go up in terms of followers on Facebook and Instagram. Jim, I know you monitor the Twitter and the X. It's great to see, especially as the playoffs got going. Yeah, we got a lot more interactions, comments, likes, and responses to things. So it's been great. It means a lot to us that you guys are actually interested in what we have to say. So we will continue to put our thoughts out there until you're not interested anymore, I suppose.
That's fine. That works for me. Well, thank you all. Do we want to give them the socials, or do you think they already know by now?
You know what? Guys, I think if you don't know by now, we'll just give them to you next year, because
that works for me. So yeah, usually we end this with "Go Phils." I don't think I can today.
Yeah,
just emotionally, I'm too hurt. But I look forward to seeing what happens in the off season at this point. And as I already mentioned, I look forward to some good baseball. The rest of the way for this year for the two remaining series.
I agree.
As long as the Dodgers don't win, I'm happy. I think.
I think I could live with. I could live with that too.
But Brent, thank you all for having me on here, and I look forward to joining you for some more. I'm sure we'll talk. But
yes, for sure, man.
Folks out there in listener land, thank you.
All right. And you know what I'll say?
Guys.
Go Phillies Unfiltered. Go Phillies
Unfiltered. Unscripted this evening, by the way.
Yes.
All right.
Take care, everybody.